Wildcats. No. This is my friend Dave. That's me. Music's probably kind of still too loud. Let's probably turn it down a little bit. What's going on? There's only a couple. Only new divide came here, and the only other person who talked is FPS Master 420. Yeah. Well, 420 is, you know, the magic time. That's where you get trees. Yeah, you taught me that.
Emoji.
Emojis.
Well, emoji is like the inside joke thing.
Yeah, I didn't know emojis was the thing. I was like, I don't understand.
Emojis is not a thing. Trust me. Trees is definitely a thing. There's a subreddit for trees.
You know, I shouldn't even be on this one. This is a cam. And I got up there, I got it engaged. So FPS Master 420, have you heard of the HTCVive? Because we just experienced what it's like to live in another reality. Yeah, we got, it's kind of hard to see a little bit. We got shirts.
We got shirts.
And this is the Portal guy. Atlas. That's his name. Now I remember it. Don't remember the other one's name. But he's Atlas. The HTCVive is a virtual reality headset that they've been working with Steam. Steam worked with HTC in order to make this thing, and they were doing demos over by the beach where we totally did not belong. We were surrounded by half-naked people playing sportsball things. But what they did, it was literally an entire room experience. They put you in an empty room in a trailer, in a giant awesome trailer, and literally they put the glasses on your head, they give you like 2 wand-like Steam controllers, and you can literally walk around inside of the virtual world. It blew my fucking mind. I can't, like, the only thing that I could say at you are words, because you won't understand the severity of the realism that, like, existed in this world.
All of those articles that I've read about how fucking amazing HTCVive is,
yes,
they're accurate.
Yeah,
oh
my god.
You have to try it.
None of them lied.
No.
It was all 100% accurate. They're like, so how was it? And I was like, I was not in this world 5 minutes ago.
I get out there and I see her holding the little HTC camera.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck, I can't answer questions right now. I'm like, I'm out of it.
You come out like looking around with like a blank look in your eyes.
She's like, what was your favorite part? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean by the whole thing?
Where am I? It blew my mind, because that was one of the bigger things about virtual reality is most of the time people are locked like in a chair. You're locked in your spot, but this did not do that at all. You get up and you walk around and you do stuff. Like when you walk really close to a wall, it's able to know that you're too far, and it actually paints like a grid where the wall is. And the grid wasn't 100%, but like when I reached out to touch the grid, I touched the wall. So you know what it is. Unfortunately though, if the wall is too far away from you, and it won't show that grid to show you're too close, and you reach out with your controller, sometimes I found myself like bopping the wall for a second.
I think it's just a proximity sensor.
Yeah.
In the head. That's what the
Well, it was also because they had the 2 cameras that like made the grid, so that camera knew where you were inside of the room as well. What demo was it about? It was actually multiple demos, but the last one that they had was a Portal demo. Now you didn't really. Oh god, no! But it was still unbelievable. Holy shit! Oh.
Wait! Before we continue, can you share the? Can you send me the link so I can send it?
Oh, the link to the stream? Yeah. Give me a second. Give me a second, BB. Where's the message? Oh, we'll go to Gmail. Did the song stop yet? No, the song stopped. I can't even hear the song. You're the only one that's getting tortured with the song. That's a good thing. Gloom. But it had multiple demos. It had quite a few different things so that you could do stuff. So it started out with,
well, first we were just in the menu.
Yeah.
Where it sort of lets you.
You're like in the construct of the Matrix. So it's like just a white grid. There's a thing in front of you that lets you, like, you know, you can press play on there. It had screens off in the distance where you could see all of the different games, you know, like that they had on there.
I saw Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah, I did see that. But the cookie thing felt like that. The first thing that happened, though, it made it. They were like, "There's nothing really that's interactive in here, but it's gonna be an underwater simulation, so you just wanna, you know, you wanna relax, and we'll find out real quick if this makes you motion sick," which it did not for the majority of the time. We'll have to get to the end. Yeah, nothing for you. At the very, very end, it ended up getting a tiny bit motion sick, but that's because there was a tiny bit of a flicker. Like, I think there was just too much going on, and it flickered for just a moment. Yeah, he's like, I'll be the first to jump on that shit. Oh,
sometime around Christmas.
Yeah, sometime around Christmas, they're saying is when they're going to be releasing it. But it did have 2 wands, and it used the Steam controller, like, you know how the Steam controller had, like, the circular pads on both of those ends?
It's basically, I think, the PlayStation Move controllers.
It feels like that.
Steam pads slapped on them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Which they felt pretty good.
Or I guess you could say Wiimotes.
Yeah. It felt pretty awesome. But you could put your hands in front of you, and the thing that was weird in my head was, like, virtually you would see the controllers exactly where they're supposed to be in space.
The positioning was
really
good.
Was 100%. Like, where I held my hands, I knew where they were. For a split second, I was like, where are my hands? They didn't give a price point. They don't know. They don't exactly have a price point yet. Our guess is like no more than $350.
Like $250 is the sweet spot, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
Probably what they're trying to hit.
But it comes with the headset. It comes with the 2 controllers, and it comes with like the lasers. The laser thing, probably those cameras. I think you literally have to make an actual virtual reality room in order to play this game, which is kind of a downside. Well, to use the, I mean, not 100% to use it. There's plenty of other applications you could do without having to do the room, but yeah, FPS Master is guessing 300 to 400. Maybe. It's tough. The girl that was there who doesn't know anything about computers and freely let us know about that. Hi, Memmy! She was like, I think it's going to cost like $800, and I was like, nobody would buy that.
Nobody's going to buy that.
Only rich people would buy that. Look at my VR room. Which is, I guess it's
you would still buy it, though.
Eventually.
But that's just because it's us. Like, we're...
I would turn my living room into the VR room somehow.
I mean,
I would be like, yeah, well, move the table, I'd move the couches, I'd move everything out of it. I'd be like, fuck it. But man, it was so like, yeah, it started off, the first demo was just underwater, and I was looking in front of me kind of, but then when I looked up, I could see the sun shining in and all of the refraction of light like trickling in from like the surface of the water. And I was saying they had headphones on my head as well. Yeah, no price is too high for that tech. They had headphones on. Hey, Kuro, it's good to see you, man. What's up? So they put headphones on, and so I was like sitting there just looking around in the water, was looking at my hands, like there's little fish swimming around in your face, and I was like swatting away at them and stuff, and they would like run away from my hands. And at one point, then I hear this woo, I hear something off somewhere in this direction, and I look over there, and there's a giant fucking whale swimming at me. I was like, holy shit. And so the big whale comes up. I wanted to give him a big high five, and he like stops right in front of you, and you're just like staring the whale in the eye. I named him Woofles. And he like... But you're able to look around. But when I looked around behind me, too, there was an entire, like, I was on the front of an entire sunken ship. And I was able to see all these, like, details about the ship. It was, like, literally being there. And I was like, this is a nice demo to start out. Then the next thing was a cooking simulation. And so there was, like, they were like, all right, the controllers are going to be your hands. Just pull the triggers to, like, grab stuff with your hands. Which is, a part of my mind was like, I know. But...
Yeah. I'm like, shut up, let me do anything.
I know what I'm doing. Just put me in the world, okay? But, like... So I know, like the nerd I am, like, but
like as soon as he handed me the controllers, I'm like, click the button. Did you notice how there was like debug stuff on the back of the controller?
Yeah, I looked back. Yeah, that was the other thing that was cool in the virtual world. Like I look at the back of the controllers, and there was like a panel in the back of the controller that was giving like information.
It was like time
of
date,
like the controller, yeah,
battery,
percentage of battery, yeah, stuff like that. I was like, man, pretty fucking amazing. Yeah. So yeah, they had a cooking thing going on, and what I did in the cooking thing was they were like, you gotta try and make soup, you know, and so I was like, alright, so I was grabbing like tomatoes and mushrooms. I went to the refrigerator and like actually opened the fucking refrigerator. Well, it opened itself, I think, to go through it, and was like, oof, and I was like, oh fuck. So I grabbed stuff out of the refrigerator, put it in a giant pot. I grabbed a knife and I tried to cut a tomato, and the knife shattered into a million pieces, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So, you know, that was really too much. What he did was a rolling pin. He grabbed the rolling pin and he grabbed a tomato. Yeah, he grabbed it and he was like bouncing things up with the rolling pin, kind of like a tennis ball on a racket. So that was really interesting that he was able to do that. The guy that was in there was like, I've never seen anyone try that. It's pretty fucking cool.
I was just really interested in how well I could...
How much physics would actually let you have, yeah.
With these hands that aren't real. And it was pretty accurate. Like, I could toss things up and catch them with my other hand.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm even doing the gestures. And
I almost,
triggered.
I almost dropped something, and I was like, whoa, whoa. And I did drop something, actually, and it was really weird to just actually reach down and pick up something from the floor. Monza's like, I am not here. Hi, Monza. Of course, you're working. Yeah, work hard. So, you know, we reached down and I, like, picked up the mushroom off the floor and, like, tossed it into the pot. It was making sounds when I put it in the pot, like, yay, you know, you got it, yeah. So I was trying to stuff meat in the pot. It wouldn't really let me very well.
The funny thing about that demo is that, see, it's like, the guy that was in that room with me, he's like, oh, yeah, you can follow the instructions or you can do your own thing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I could make soup. I'm not gonna make
soup. You're blowing my cover.
I just started grabbing all the things and throwing it at the monitor, and the robot was getting angry at me.
You're making me too happy. You'd be like, "Oh, you don't even understand." No. I'm looking at these video games now on my screen, and then I'm like, "These are just games."
Yeah. Like, when I left that demo, I had chills on my body for the next 5 minutes. It was amazing.
There's like tears in my eyes thinking about just how amazing it was. What was the next thing after? Oh, then they turned on an art program.
Oh yeah.
And the art program is very difficult for me to describe because it was like, it was unbelievable. So they had in front of me, they were like, all right, your left hand's going to be the palette, and you could use the Steam controller to like, it had like a cube over the area to like flip through, rotate the cube to go to different options on each side of the cube, or to like delete stuff and erase things. And they had these different brushes, and one of the brushes was like a rainbow. So, you know, I chose a blue color, and then I clicked the rainbow palette, and then I made a rainbow. Like, I hold the button and I did this, and in front of me, in the air, a rainbow materialized. It was glowing. It was, like, all ravey and blinky. Each line was, like, blinking and beautiful. So I drew, like, a big less than 3 with my hand. I drew, like, a smiley face. I started to draw a little puppy, and then everything went black, and I was like, ugh. When the program first turned on, though, it put me in a black room, and I was like, great, where's Slender Man? I'm gonna die. He's like, I know what I'm getting for Christmas. Oh man!
And then for the drawing thing,
the
snow brush.
Yeah,
there was a snow brush. So all I did was just stand there drawing snow in front of my face and being happy and walking.
Flicker around and fall. Did you use the star brush?
Star brush.
There was a star brush that did the exact same thing, pretty much as a snow brush, but it made twinkling stars, just kind of like twinkling and falling down. The snow brush looked really close. Okay. It was really exact same, but it was snowflakes instead of stars.
Okay.
But it was absolutely fucking phenomenal.
To use all of them, but then I was
and what was funny too is that I was I was turning around in a circle and drawing a new thing, and then I looked forward and I started to draw another thing, and I stepped back, and all of a sudden in my vision there was a bright light, and I was like, "What is that?" Oh, it's my other drawing that was behind me. So I was able to like step back and see the circle of drawings that I had made surrounding my body, like where it was. My body would be in the middle, and all the drawings were just completely around me. He drew a cube and then stood in the cube.
No, I was inside of the cube. I'm like, well, I can draw in 3D. What's it's a cube. I can make a cube. So I made a cube.
Oh my god!
I stepped inside of it and I started drawing on all the walls of the cube with the rainbow brush.
Kari would love it so much.
It's great.
Kari's an artist. Kari would do amazing things. Kari would you could literally make a world. You're like standing in the middle of the world. You can make your own little friends in 3D. You can actually just walk around them and physically create a little person, like, on the ground or whatever. You could, I don't know, make yourself a small puppy friend. It won't really come to life. Maybe there'll be another program where you could draw shit and it comes to life. Holy fuck. Yes. Is VR the next step in gaming? It is on a certain level, but like, what you need to have is still kind of like, man. This is what I know. The old one, the original Oculus, did make me motion sick, and this did not make me motion sick until the very end when there was a small glitch. The screen was flickering a little bit, and my eye was struggling to find reality. because my reality was disappearing before my very eyes. Then I started to feel a little weird, like the sensation of motion sickness. Little person, just like you. But oh no, there's see that face. He's like, oh god, she's gonna kill him. But like, man, fuck, I don't even know. I just don't even know. The last thing to happen, though, the last part of the demo was Portal, and that's why we have these shirts behind us. We have these Portal shirts. Yeah, they gave us shirt. We asked for the shirts, so they gave us the shirts. So there's Atlas like on the shirt, and on the back Steam VR, HTCVive. So that's happening. Man, did I fuck up? Hold on, I gotta fix edit scene. This is like. There we go. That's better. So the last thing was Portal. I hope this isn't like terrible spoilerinos for anybody who might do the demo. But Portal then had like the voice in the beginning of Portal 2 that normally talks to you. He was there and he was trying to guide you around this stuff. And he was like, so is this PC only? Yeah, I believe so, yes, so far.
Yeah.
For PlayStation, we're just going to have to deal with Project Morpheus when that happens, which I'll probably still buy.
So, when you were doing the Portal demo, did you open the right box? The drawer?
You never open the right drawer. Did you open it the first time?
No, I opened like 4 different drawers.
I opened 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they have green lights on them.
Yeah,
that's the other thing that they were really good at developing that part, is they make you fuck up. I don't even remember what he said, but at some point I accidentally became the god of strange little people that lived inside of a drawer.
Yes, I love that.
They're like, they are now your god, and they worship you, and now they are into a state of chaos. And I was like, what have I done?
Do not observe the box. Please turn around. Stop looking at the box. And then I turn around.
Our sensors indicate that you're observing the box. It's like, no, I can't. What'd I do? And all the little people started freaking out and running up. They started like bowing before me. It was just like little, that's a train. You know, like the little people that are like on the wall, like of a bathroom. You know, like when we go to the bathroom, men and women pictures. The little people that lived were little people like that. And then after I closed that drawer too, one of them jumped out. Did you see that?
Yeah.
One little dude jumped out, and I watched him be like, he like smashed his face in the grain. Fap train. Monson knows it.
Yeah.
Fucking. But no, so that happened, and then we had to fix the robot. Oh god, had to fix the robot. Did you fix the robot?
Did I fix? No.
Neither did I.
No, because this was on purpose, just like the drawers.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, press the fix the robot button. Okay.
And you're like, all right, fix the robot.
Okay, now you're gonna take the modular.
Over here, the modular RF thing, brings a barcode and electronic. They like mumbled off a bunch of crazy shit on what you were supposed to do.
Technical jump.
And then you're like, yeah, I can't do this. But there was stuff to like spin around and like
I'm pretty
fuck with
sure that you
things.
could just spin it around.
But I did notice one of the ones that I did spin around found a spot where it locked in place and I couldn't spin it around anymore. So I wonder if you can fix the fucking robot.
You probably can.
Shrooms plus VR equal hell.
Oh God.
Or heaven.
Oh God.
You understand. But yeah, the Portal demo was fantastic. Then GLaDOS comes down and talks to you and then makes fun of you and berates you like she normally does.
Atlas is huge.
Oh, that's right. I now
You're
how tall.
standing in front of the robot. It's like,
I now know how tall Atlas is. I have a proper sense of how big Atlas is and the other robot. But yeah, they like tear apart the place. The ground comes out from under you. And when I looked down in between the tiles that were like flipping sideways, I could see into the forever of nothingness below like the box that you were like standing in. Then they take away all the walls and you could see in the forever of everything that was off. Oh my God. I cannot
and then
possibly.
GLaDOS comes in.
Yeah, GLaDOS comes in and makes fun of you.
Swings in right into your face.
And she's like, oh, it's you. I was like, oh, damn it. She makes fun of you a little bit. They reconstruct the box, and then, like, everything goes black. It was one of the most amazing fucking experiences that I've ever had in my fucking life.
Apparently it was 25 minutes. Felt like 5 seconds.
Yeah. It was only just a few minutes. I knew that the Portal thing was the last thing, and then just all of a sudden, we were at the Portal thing, and I was like, we're almost done already? Fuck. Doom 4? Oh my God. Imagine playing PT. Silent Hills?
Hey, fuck you.
Have some Silent Hills going on in there? We're going to have a defibrillator in the room.
Oh God. I swear to God, there's going to be reports of people dying.
Yeah, easily. I mean, there's probably already people who have died for playing scary games.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how many. I should probably Google that and see what happens. How many people have died playing Five Nights at Freddy's? He's like, fuck that. I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay, but now that we're done talking about HTC stuff at this point, I mean, we're probably not going to be done for it forever.
Yeah.
How much time do you have? You have time, right?
I've got time.
We got time. This might take a couple hours.
Till like 9:30.
So, ooh, Corvus, what's up, man? Heart attack incoming. They still haven't worked out how you to have you walk around and stuff, right? Well, it was only confined. It was confined literally to the side of the room, but I was walking around.
Yeah.
I was standing up, physically moving around in the world around me. The only thing that kind of sucks is that technically you have to be tethered to the machine by a cable. So there's a cable running off of the top of the machine down the back of your head, and you can kind of feel it around your body sometimes.
It didn't bug me too much. Like,
not too much. I was able to still be conscious of it somehow subconsciously,
yeah,
and step around it whenever necessary.
I would make sure that all of my movements were in a way that the
exactly
cable wouldn't bug me, but it didn't interfere with the VR experience.
Correct. Yeah, so it really wasn't too much of an inconvenience. God damn, it was fucking amazing. So that's the only kind of downside, but I was in a room. Yeah, he's like, I will build a room for this. Easily. I will empty a fucking room and just done. Can't wait for full mobility. We need a treadmill is what it is.
Wireless HDMI.
Let's do it. Walking around outside. I imagine the music from Earthbound, all like, you know, like cheery, walking around, killing the monsters. But yeah, no, it actually was in a room. It was about the size of my room almost. Well, more rectangular. I want to say it was about the size of my living room, which is very rectangular.
Yeah.
But I was able to move around. Like when there was like, oh, there's stuff behind you, I was able to physically simply turn around, walk a couple steps over, and then pick up stuff on another counter, like mess with a microwave. That's where I found the knife was sitting on top of a microwave that was behind me. So I stepped back, I turned around, I walked. When Atlas came out of a room, what happens is there's a room on the wall and you pull a lever. And when I walked over to the wall and pulled the lever, which did require me walking across the entire rectangle. So I was opening drawers on this side of the room, and then I had to walk over to the other side of the room, grab a lever, and then pull it open.
It really did seem a lot bigger at times. Like, some demos made it seem
What's up,
small.
Tsuchi? Yeah, some demos made it feel a little confined earlier. The kitchen one did feel more confined.
The kitchen one was literally, like, boxed in.
But the portal one
seemed very large.
did make me have a sensation of, like, actually being in an open world.
Yeah.
So I did turn around, walk over to the door, pull the lever, and it opens a little bit like it's fucking up. And you see the two portal robot guys. Well, one of them... What's up, Woovens? See, one of them, he's like off in the distance. He's in the back reading a magazine,
Peabody.
And he's missing a leg. Yeah, Peabody, that's it. That's his name. Peabody and Atlas. He's missing a leg, and he's just looking up at you, and he's like, kind of help. And Atlas humbles up from the side of the room, opens it. He's like hurting, and he's like, help me. Like, he's all torn up, and he's like begging to be repaired. He's trying to use his arm, and he's like flapping it around in front of you. Ah! But he was gigantic, and as he was walking toward me, I was stepping the fuck back. I was getting out of his way.
Like, the entire time he was walking towards me, I'd think to myself, oh, this is VR, I'm just gonna touch him because I want to. And then I'd get really
and then
close
he takes
to him,
another step forward, and you're like,
hold on.
hold on. Looking dapper. Thank you, sir. It was real. I was in the same room as Atlas. I tore him apart, and I tried to fix him, and I failed.
Yep.
And then he fell apart, and I let him die.
And then the floor fell.
And then the floor fell apart, and I had to step kind of out of the way of the tiles of the floor opening up, and that also was very interesting.
Oh yeah, that was another point where I was like, oh, this is VR, I'm just gonna walk in the air. And then the floor kind of started falling more, and I'm like, nope, back away.
Let's just back up. So Dave has never played Journey before, so I'm about to make Dave play Journey. Also, the sound might be a little shitty, because since we're both here, I'm not making us both wear headphones. I just turned off the direct sound, and I have the sound coming out of speakers going directly into the microphone. Not sure how that's going to sound for everybody. Let me know how shitty it sounds, because I don't know how it's going to be. Here, I'm going to have you take the helm here.